Right, everybody, welcome along to Legit Crypto Lounge, the place to be to discover all the latest and upcoming legit projects. We really appreciate you joining us and hope to bring you some valuable insights during the next hour or so. Today, we're joined by the team behind Metfx, which is a metaverse project on the ETH network, which is yet to launch. In terms of the program today, we'll meet the team behind the project, run through the token itself and its USPs. We can have a chat about the tokenomics, run through the pre-sale structure in terms of seed, private, and what the launch details will be. And then we can see where the team plans to take this project into the future. So, Goose, if you'd like to tell me a bit about your background and area of expertise to start off with.
Well, yeah, well, I've been a network engineer part of my life, about 15 years, working in Silicon Valley. And then I actually went into being an entrepreneur. So I got into selling on Amazon, where I have a staff of about 40 people that actually work for us. And we've made tremendous of a lot of money in as far as selling on Amazon. And then from there, I got into crypto. I started off with just doing stable coins and so forth. And then my son got me into this coin called DOXX. And then I said, okay, well, let me check it out. It did very well. And then I got into SafeMoon and shipping, and then I was like thinking to myself, I wanted to get into the ground level, into these projects that starts off, from pre-sale. And so, I've been doing this for approximately about a year. I've been working with CryptoKid for about 8 months, dealing with the marketing, and I was a moderator, and so I decided to create a coin. In the past, it was called Ronin. It did about like $25 million market cap. So I learned a lot from just the marketing aspects and all this other kind of stuff. And I decided to get a team going to create Metfx. And it was dealing with the metaverse, and coming from Silicon Valley, there's just vast engineers and connections that I know, people who can, help me kick this thing start off. And so,
is this your second token then?
Yeah, that is correct. And so now that we started with Metfx, we learned so much in terms of the marketing aspect and getting the right people on a board. And so now that we have Metfx, we have approximately about 25 people that's into the project. We have about 15 devs working on the metaverse side, and then we have 6 people, I think, including 7, I think, is going to be on the NFT platform. So what makes Metfx different, being in this space, is the utility. And we're going to be launching in approximately 2.5 to 3 weeks our NFT platform. And then we're also going to be launching our Metfx metaverse at launch. So this is what's going to make us different, is that the fact that we'll be one of the very few companies out there that's involved into the metaverse space to able to launch the utilities beforehand. We're not going to be, telling our investors we'll be launching, our utility will come out 6 months from now, 8 months from now, 4 months from now, next quarter, whatever it may be. And we truly believe that utility is really important on the stability of the coin, especially when you basically going to launch utility beforehand. So this is what makes us different from just that one point of view. But what makes Metfx really, really different from a lot of the metaverses out there is, number one, you're going to be able to watch movies in our metaverse on a big screen through a drive-in feel. I'm not too sure if many people went to a drive-in, but the way that ours work is that you can either purchase your own vehicle from our NFT marketplace or rent one, and then you could go ahead and jump in and grab whoever you want to grab in your vehicle and drive off to the movie theaters, given that drive-in feel. We're also, you could do that through web. You could do that from a web base through our downloadable application, and then through your Oculus or some type of VR system. And so, the second thing that that makes us different is our starting point. A lot of coins are starting from ground base. So we decided that we were gonna start a thing called a city in the sky. So basically the city in this, it's called Sky City. And so it's still land based, but it's still floating in the air. And we're gonna start utilizing that airspace, where you can, purchase a vehicle, a rocket, a dragon. Our dragon NFTs will be coming out the same time that we're going to be launching, so that we can give people that experience to roam those airwaves. The third thing that makes us different is a lot of people are doing a lot of the play to earn games. And is Metfx going to have a play to earn game? Yes, but it's not something that we want to come out now. We want to target all ages. So we came up with a thing called a treasure hunt. And so basically people in the metaverse can actually hunt for treasures, whether if it's a car, whether if it's household goods, whether if it's money, coins. There's just so many different things that we can add to our treasure hunt. Since I've been in the business in Amazon for approximately, I don't know, going on a little over 10 years now, I know so many merchants where they would be able to offer their items for them to, they'll sponsor their items into our treasure hunt game. So working with, there are going to be so many different prizes every weekly that people can hunt. So those are the three main things that we believe that really separates us from other metaverses. Is one, our starting point. Number two, watching movies in the metaverse, whether if it's on the big screen, your private home theater that we'll be selling. You could actually build one of your own if you buy one of the lands. So, we have the basics of like land sales and advertising and that kind of so forth. But one of the question would be, are we scalable in our business model that we have? And we do. We have a very scalable business because we can get into the play to earn games. We can use our downloadable application where it's streamlining movies, and we can, host people that want to advertise through our movies. Besides that, we're using another third party application. Can we get into, subscription on our downloadable app? 100%. Can the metaverse, can we expand on our metaverse? Yes, we can, because it's a digital world. As long as we can keep up with the technology, and keep our metaverse, it's not something that I can go ahead and follow, Facebook's model. I mean, that's pretty an intensive business model that they have with the things that they want to do as far as like 4K graphics and things like that. But as far as will we ever run out of things to help our charts? We'll never run out. I mean, I can create an NFT gallery where people can go in and look at NFTs in a different way, give it a different ambiance, meet up with, the creators of those NFTs, and take it more like on a personal level, or he stands on a podium and he explains his inspiration and what his utility is about behind those NFTs. There's just so many things that we can create in the metaverse that could bring a lot of FOMO and a lot of growth with people wanting to be part of our metaverses. And I think those three experiences is, we truly believe it's going to bring a lot of people. Just the fact that anybody, any age can join in on that treasure hunt. So that's what makes us different.
So when we look at the metaverse or your metaverse, the main focus is what? Is it the movies? Is it the treasure hunt? Because you've mentioned a lot of different aspects.
It's really all those three. We're not like, it's not like we're targeting a play to earn game. Because like, say for instance, you do a play to earn game, you're just targeting people who are gamers. And the fact that we have three things that separate us. I mean, when you start off with the metaverse, where do you want to start off from? Either you're going to start off from the ground, or you're going to start off in the universe, or whatever starting point you want to start at, whether if it's going to be the sea. But we decided that we wanted to start off in the sky because we can utilize that airspace and give people that thrill of driving a dragon in a car and do all kinds of sorts of kind of stuff. So yes, they're, gaming it, how do you game the metaverse? What are people are going to do? People love to hunt. People love to win prizes. It's not like you're playing a game and you're trying to earn through playing. Not everyone's a gamer. I think that when you look at the overall scope of the metaverse, it's supposed to be geared towards, our business model is geared towards everybody, whether if you're in
Mm-hmm.
crypto, whether if you're not in crypto, whether if you're just a kid that wants to fly in a dragon and says, "Hey, Ma, I want to go into Metfx metaverse because I want to test this out with me and my buddies." So we're definitely trying to hit up all different ages. But the experience that watching movies in the metaverse, you know, do we have the licenses to do so? Yeah, we do. Um, can we get premiere movies? Yes, we can. Down the future, we'll definitely make those establishment. That's why we went ahead and brought on Chad, who's part of our team, and his company is going to be the one who's creating our commercials with real life people, and these commercials is how our brand Metfx. There are going to be some funny commercials. We've talked a lot about that. Um, Besides just doing some, video ad that's, made digital, we want to use real people and use digital to convey what Metafx is. So those are actually the three main things. And I've already tested about 2 months ago. I actually went to my dev's house and he showed me where this would be a private room where you can have you and your buddies, come on in and you guys can watch movies. So we went ahead and tested out. He created it within about 2 hours, and I was able to test it in the VR. And I thought it would be a really cool experience. And then, it grew from there from, wanting to watch movies in the metaverse, um, where would our starting point would be, which would be sitting in the sky, and then gaming it. I think gaming it was the last thing because we were debating on how are we going to game this metaverse also. So we actually came up with treasure hunt, and we thought that would actually reach all different ages other than just one specific group, you
Sure.
know.
Just going back to your point about licensing agreements, can you expand any more on that for these movies?
So, if you go to your application where you're going to download movies, you'll see that a lot of people are coming with different applications. And a lot of them are free based, because these have ads. It's how they monetize. Like I use Tubi, there's quite a few. Peacock just came out. So when you go through a third party company, since there's tens and thousands of movies out there, if you notice that if you subscribe to like Amazon Prime or you subscribe to Netflix, it's not like they have this great incredible movie selection, things from the past, things from the 80s, the 90s, kung fu movies. It's just very limited because their business model is really doing movies that come from their own movie house. So when there are companies out there which I've subscribed to. Checking out this one company, it's very easy for me to sign up and just pay for those licensings of those movies. So that's really not an issue. I mean, anyone today could do that.
And the
Create their house.
types of movies that you would be looking to get on board to start off with would be those like free, not free versions, but not the latest movies that have just been released.
Well, yeah, totally. I mean, that's really the goal, and I think the way that Chad was explaining, this is your one and only chance. So you have to really make sure that you have your utility and that you have people to people are actually watching, and there's a lot of people in your metaverse. So we want to strategize that, it'd be like one of our only chance, and we don't want to come to them with nothing but just an ideal. We have to have something that's tangible to actually show them before we approach them with some type of a partnership and watching premiere movies. And
So,
so,
so far you've explained that to confirm those licensing agreements haven't been made yet because you want to have more in place to be able to show them, to be able to get those agreements in place. Is that correct?
Licensing agreements for 1,000 movies, that's not a problem. But when you're talking about premiere movies that are just coming out like from a month from now, you know, something that's never been showed before, those are the ones where we have to strategically um, place ourselves as an active metaverse and an active movie theater within our metaverse so that it's something that's working, and that part, having a working movie theater within our metaverse, that's not an issue at all because we've already tested that. Now it's just, creating that environment to host many people to watch. And that's not even the challenge. You know, the challenge would be getting into the premiere movies. But we're not denying United States movies. I mean, we're going to be doing independent movies. We're going to try to work with Bollywood, work with different Asian communities like the Philippines and China, and try to get um, those kind of a partnerships. But we're not just going to be hosting just American movies. We're
Yeah.
definitely going to be hosting other ethnicities out there too as well.
And it's not as if these partnerships and relationships haven't already been made. There are people that you're already in with from what I've heard, that have relationships with these larger IP holders, and so I think that it's more about positioning to be able to come to an agreement with the most leverage possible, and having a minimal viable product with more available movies out already, I think is going to allow us to get favorable pricing, us as investors, favorable pricing on a agreement for licensing more popular movies, which is it's a lot more expensive if we don't already have the sort of volume that makes them want us to have their movies there.
Okay, right. So in terms of, because obviously you've explained that the metaverse itself is going to be ready by launch in March, April. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct, 100%. We won't, that's the thing about being in this space, and you get to see how other projects do, whether they have the utility or not. And the fact that we're coming out with one of our utilities, which is the NFT marketplace, and that should be ready approximately within 2.5 weeks to 3 weeks. Um, what we wanted to do, or what we are going to plan to do, is we're this coming up weekend, we're going to be testing out where we can do AMAs from the metaverse. And I would have loved to did it with you guys, but I'm waiting for my Oculus to come in, and then we could do further testing. So the way that this is actually going to be working, the way that we're going to work this is, as you have your screen up right now, the VC chat, we're going to be streamlining from the metaverse through our web, and we're going to be able to talk to our investors from the metaverse. We're also putting a sample on our website with the defaulted avatar, and you guys can kind of like roam around a little bit, just especially with our club that we're going to be having in the metaverse. So these are the things that we're going to show before launch, that we have these utilities in hand and a sample of our metaverse and a full-blown NFT market that will probably going active in terms of selling NFTs. So, we're coming with the utility, and I think this is what's going to make us also different, and especially at launch. I mean, I just seen another coin no more than 10 days ago. I think they did $3 billion market cap on the first day, and they don't even have their utility out, so we're going to be looked at different, and I'm really excited about that. That the fact that we're going to have our utilities before launch, where people can go into our metaverse and experience different things. So the way that we've done it is we've already have our big gigantic assets ready to go, whether if it's the car racing track, the esports stadium, the NFT gallery, the Coliseum, and some other big assets that we're inserting into the metaverse at start. So at least people, when they come in, they could kind of like to see where everything is going to be going towards to. They can get a vision of what we're trying to do here, especially the land sales. So will there be land sales at launch? Yes, there will be. I think we're going to be chopping up about 200,000 plots in the metaverse within Metfx, and that'll be continuously going on as far as chopping up the land and so forth. But we'll have land sales around these big assets that we're putting, especially, that you can hold a concert in our metaverse too as well. So, it's something what Seek was doing. It's something that Fortnite was able to do, and I think it's something that Metafx definitely wants to do, because we're an entertainment hub. So I think the whole ideal of it being an entertainment hub where people can experience different things as it continues to grow is going to help us with our growth. It helps us with things that
And that kind of speaks a loud volume, Alvin. The fact that it's a social connection, especially what's going on with the world today. We see the issue with Russia and Ukraine. You got the issue with the pandemic. So health, wellness, safety, that's all a top priority right now. And that's the only more of a reason why the metaverse will get more popular. It's because it could bring, teleport these people out of, horrible situations or whatever situation, and take them into a world that they can only dream of. And it could be so we want to make sure that they have that ability to withstand their environment and their limitations wherever they're from or wherever they are, and they have the power to go into this metaverse, because we see the other metaverses that are out there. And originally this had started with only the idea of being just a place where you drive in, you go to the movies, and you watch a movie in the metaverse. But it kind of grew to a full-fledged metaverse as we spoke to developers, as we spoke to other people in the industry, as we spoke to different devs about what they can do and about what kind of assets they can build. And we realized that this could be an open, decentralized economy. And that's what we wanted to do. We wanted developers to basically fully capitalize on the interactions of the people in our metaverse. So whether that be purchasing NFTs or just going around for a good experience, or the treasure hunts. The devs built this metaverse and this ecosystem with 3 simple principles in mind. Number 1 was simplicity, right? They wanted to make sure that this whole ecosystem, this whole the way you log in, the way if someone's using a VR device, or if they're logging in from their Web3, that they're able to access our ecosystem in a simple way. Because we see there's a lot of people that are interested in the metaverse that are younger, that are older, that basically have no crypto background. So the metaverse is attracting a lot of people from a lot of different places. So we wanted to make sure that the devs built this with simplicity in mind. The second thing was sustainability. We went through so many different business models to make sure these business models that were being implemented were for the long term. We wanted to make sure this ecosystem had a long-term strategic view on it. So, each business model that we went through, and we went through tons of them, we wanted to make sure this was monetized in a way that it was sustainable over a long period of time. Because that brings us to the third reason. We wanted to make sure this was scalable. We wanted to make sure this could be designed in a way that was capable of unlimited horizontal scaling. So we wanted to make sure that this attracted real world businesses, that we introduced real world businesses to the benefits of being in the metaverse, of how they just think of a person that owns a retail shop. Imagine a clothing store in one location in the state of California in the United States. Now this person could go into the metaverse, open up a shop in our metaverse, and sell their clothing to everybody in the world through our metaverse by providing them a unique experience where they're going in, they're maybe watching NFTs on the wall while they're looking through the different clothes that are available that this company offers. So we wanted to make sure this was scalable in that mind. So that those are the things that we kind of wanted to separate ourselves from the other companies out there, the other metaverses out there. So our revenue models, you can own Metfx land. You can have the NFT sales. You'll have the NFT royalties. We'll have public theaters. So there's different revenue models for this. And then on top of all, we have the treasure hunt. So we want people to explore this metaverse and get rewarded for doing so. So imagine, you're walking around and you buy a plot of land, you're digging because you're actually building say you want to build your house on your land, you'll be able to find treasures, underneath the ground, while you're walking. So it'll be in different spots where these developers have actually put the treasures. And so a part of the companies that reaching these real world businesses was so we can get sponsorship to give out prizes to people in our metaverse, to attract them and to make them explore. Because the whole idea of this metaverse was that you can actually go and experience it while the devs are developing it. So we'll have the availability for you to log in with your virtual reality device, log in from your computer once we're launched. But then you're going to see the progression over time, because while you're, flying around the metaverse or driving around or whatever it is, you might see an empty piece of lot one day, and then the next day it might be a museum. So that's the power of the Metfx metaverse. Sorry to cut you off, Ivan.
Yeah.
Okay. So looking at the metaverse again, at what stage are you at in the development of it at the moment, and what will be ready at launch?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So like part of our marketing strategy during these different seed rounds was to make sure that investors were properly rewarded for their their investment. So we realized that the first seed round we had where we raised 150K, it was raised fairly quickly. We understood people were only investing in a white paper, a website, and our words. But now we're planning to have an additional round of a seed fund for only 150K, keep in mind, before we go to the IDO process. So this would be held in our community. You can go to our Telegram room, you can sign up for the Gleam, and then we're gonna pick a certain amount of addresses, because we have to kind of limit it, because we're only raising 150K in this next round. But the whole marketing strategy is, before we actually ask for this next raise, you're going to be able to go and get a demo of an actually our devs of the metaverse of a unique club in the metaverse. So that means basically walking around in the metaverse, seeing this club in the Metfx metaverse, and being able to experience it, the different features that these devs are working on. And this will give we hope this will give everybody a feel of how special our devs are, because we know it. We just want the rest of the world to know it. And so within about 2 to 3 weeks, but before the next time we ask for the before we do the second raise, you'll be able to experience this metaverse in a way that you'll get to explore the club. In addition to that, they're also going to have the NFT platform completed. So we're also coming out with NFTs. It might be 1, it might be 2, it might be 3, but we basically hired various artists that we handpicked, that we want to build up a name, and these NFTs are unbelievable. And to showcase them, we're gonna put them out in our NFT platform when that comes out as well. So by the time we ask for the next raise, you're gonna be able to experience a demo of the metaverse and see the NFT platform fully functional.
Yeah.
And okay, you said about the club, so they'll be able to experience the club What will that entail?
It's like a bar. So just imagine it's like a bar. It's a dance club. It'll probably have different levels. Honestly, we haven't even looked at it ourselves. We're gonna be basically experiencing this right with everybody else. We've gone through the different features of like the private rooms, the theaters, but this club that they're actually building. We're not sure of like the different features, but we basically think, just imagine like a real, like you entering a nightclub. There's a DJ, there's a bar, there's a dance floor, there's a restaurant, there's so it'll probably have those different types of features. Show this demo. Sorry, I was getting a call. But basically just imagine yourself in the real world nightclub, and that's what it should feel like.
So they'll get a demo in a club, but when you explained the USPs of this metaverse, it's along the lines of being able to watch movies, being able to treasure hunt. Wouldn't it have been more beneficial to focus on those as the demo? Isn't that where we want to see?
Well, no, I definitely see your point, but I mean, it's still going to be ongoing. I mean, to do something like that, I definitely would like to talk to the devs, because if it's only partial of what's just open, we don't know if that's going to backfire on us. Whether how it's going to be critiqued. So we want to make sure that you'll see these other things that we're going to be doing that's already fully built, rather than having someone to experience a partial of it.
Didn't you say they were already fully built though?
No, the assets are fully built. The assets, whether if it was the race car track, the stadiums, now they're just doing the whole landscaping, aspect of it. Before we go ahead and put those assets in the metaverse. Does that make sense?
Well, what we are now, 24th of February, and it's all going to be put together in time for launch, which is March, April time.
The advice was given to us was, Alvin, you want to put at least make 30%. You don't want to go with this full-fledged, having it fully available in that full, city and so forth. So it was advisable that we keep about 30% built, so that you can keep these FOMO effects coming, and the progress of the metaverse, because then it gives us a chance to help with the marketing. You know what I mean? So when you at launch, you'll be able to experience a lot of things, but a metaverse will never be full-fledged in terms of any metaverse, to be honest with you. It's the way where people will continuously to buy, and people will buy land, and you have to give those people a chance to help build that little economy that you're building. So when you go into our metaverse, like exactly what Kid said, one day you'll be there, today and tomorrow you'll see something that could be up, and I think that's what's going to be exciting about the whole part, is you get to see this thing develop. But we need to keep those FOMO effects. Like, as far as the downloadable application, I'm not going to launch that at launch. I'm going to launch that probably the second month, because I have our seed rounds that we have to airdrop, and we've working around doing the airdrops for these seed funders. We have it really strategized to the point where everyone gets dropped on at launch, and then when it comes down to the second month, we have to do it where the first seed rounders would get their allocation a lot more earlier, like on the 28th of that month, and then the second allocation would be on the 30th, or on the 1st, so we don't want to hurt the impact of our charts. So there's been a lot of talks, especially with the distribution part of it. But as far as we need that FOMO, we need to build material for this project. I'm not gonna come out with a downloadable app. Everybody knows that we're launched. Everyone's gonna know that we have our NFT platform up and our metaverse up. But what do I have next? And that's what we need to do, is to keep those charts pumping, because of those news, the things that we build in our metaverse, you know. So
Yeah, I think having a fully fledged built metaverse is pretty impressive at launch. So I'm just trying to understand, like, what if how complete that's going to be at launch, if this is genuinely feasible. I understand that you've raised $150,000 at seed level so far. So looking at your team, the team information, you've got like what, 26 people, did you say, in total?
roughly, I think that could have changed, because I was requesting.
That's not
to hire
including the
more
shillers and the mods, but yeah, roughly about
people.
26 people.
And when we look at that, are they all employed or are they freelanced?
No, a lot of them's employed. You know, we wanted people that were going to be dedicated, um, to those tasks and things that we need. You know, especially, setting up AMAs and that kind of stuff, and
Yeah,
working with.
Alvin has been spending. He's been. Well, as he said, he was a very successful. Well, he is very successful in the Amazon, business of like distribution, whatever. So he has been spending his own money in the beginning to keep this up, to make the developers actually work before they were. We actually asked for a seed raise. The people were hired before. The team was put together, before everything was like thought out. So he actually has funded a lot of this with his own projects.
Yeah,
And
I've been
how
at
much
this
does
for
it cost? How much does it cost to this point to fund the project? And how long have you been? How long has it been in development?
It's been in development for about 2 months now. And like I said, we started off with that private room, and basically we just hired more Unity engineers, um, to add more people to get this done, just enough in time.
Sorry.
So
Sorry,
if
go on,
you're
carry on.
if you're asking me how much money have we already set aside for this, it's approximately about $200,000 so far.
Just on that point,
Yeah,
can I just ask what you're raising the extra 150k seed for?
For marketing.
All right.
And we had to pay for the NFT platform, employees and people that were hiring to get this all in gear. Like, I'm confident about the NFT platform. Really is, Arnaya does a lot of smart contracts for a lot of groups. He does DAOs, he does NFT marketplaces, he does complicated, smart contracts for other groups. He just did something for BetSwamp. They're a betting platform, that's going to be coming out shortly. But yeah, this guy, when it comes down to NFT platform, it's like, the only thing that we really need to do, Al, is just, change the UI interface just to make sure that everything fits. And then he's going to be adding other things to it, the categorization. But it's all really built out. All the smart contracting is already there, you know. So that's why we're confident about coming out with the NFT platform beforehand. As
Right.
far as the metaverse goes, we've been at it for, these last 2 months, and we started the Ideal Sparked about 2 months ago. So I have videos of that, when we built that room, and for me to experience. So it was really, really cool,
Cool. Can I just carry on with this structure of the seed sale? So where are you at the minute? You've done one seed sale. Have you done a private sale?
We're debating right now if we're going to get into the private sale, because we're going to be entering into the tier one. We're really strategizing on how many different IDOs we're going to do. Besides just one, we may end up kind of like, put other people on the map who started their IDO that have a good following. So, if they already have 20,000 people who are, subscribed to their IDOs, we're kind of like thinking about giving them a small allocation, and it brings visibility to, the project. So, we
Yeah.
want to strategize on whether or not we're going to go ahead and proceed with the private sale. Are we going to have a pre-sale? Yeah, most definitely. We need that because we need to keep our community engaged in those that they're still able to get in on a whitelist rather than just getting on a launch. So,
Yeah.
as far as the pre-sale goes, but in terms of other rounds, we have several groups that have already approached us that want to buy our entire second seed round. I mean, this stuff happens I'm part of OIG, so I mean, your contribution could be anywhere between $500 to $150 per person. I've seen it done. I don't know, maybe 15 days ago, there was a blockchain that needed seed funding, and that was eaten up in seconds, literally. And I think there was one big person who came in with $100,000 and bought that allocation. So that's why with us, our when it comes down to our seed round, everything is going to be allocated every month. So if you invest into the seed rounds, it's going to be your allocation is going to be split up within 12 months. So it'll be like 8.3%, 8.33% is your first drop of tokens, which you're going to get. This was the business model that I followed because I'm part of these big projects that are coming out. One of my friends got into Blocktopia, and he's 700x on that damn coin, and his is still being distributed throughout for the next I don't know how many more months he got left. I don't know if it's like 6 or whatever, but it's fairly doing well. It's just to safeguard the project, because when you go on these IDO launchpad, they want to know if you're seed round, which venture capitalist you went through, and making sure that this is not a dump and pump project. So you have to be vested, because these are their clients who subscribe to their IDO launchpad, and this is how they make their money. So if I was to go into one IDO launchpad, they'll raise $1 million from me, but of course they're going to take probably 6% of that. I mean, that's how they make their money. Some may even do 2 million, 3 million, just for their pre-sale. But yeah, this is how they make their money. So we're in compliant with having our seed rounds to be vested over 12 months.
Yeah, investing is good. But so are you going to move some of this percentage from the private sale into the seed sale potentially? Have you maxed that 28.1% at the minute, and then you're going to move some of this private sale into the seed sale at the same price per token?
We're still debating. We're going to see how this round goes. I think there's a lot of people that want to get into this. I mean, just the fact that we're launching our utility at launch and ahead of time. So our definitely our website will eventually be updated and changed if we decide to make those changes, because I was just more and more thinking about bringing on these other IDO launch pads, whether if it was Spinx, Moonforce, Cody. There's just quite a few IDO launch pads of people that we know that they started their own project and have a good following. So it's still sort of up in the air. But as far as this round coming up, most definitely that we're doing now, I would suggest to get into that. Just because it's going to be a lot more easier to get in, because we expect approximately 50,000 people or more into our project before we launch. Just because when we make the announcement of the audio launchpad and the utilities that we're doing, and what we're going to be doing with our AMAs with the larger groups, is really being prepared with actually able to do our AMAs from the metaverse via this club. So I think it's going to bring a lot of buzz, a lot of legitimacy into our project. The fact that we have a staff, a hired staff, a lot of people that are not not hired, they're willing to be part of it, just because maybe they want to build their own name. But anyway, there's that video that we have on the screen right there. And before we started, we actually had this video made. So it basically is a movie about, one of the avatars jumping into the car. He's kind of like going through the city, and then he's kind of like driving through the desert. And he's eating popcorn, and it has our symbol Metfx. So, we definitely spent a lot of money so far to get this project off, to make sure that we come out with the utilities, because we don't want to keep people hanging, starting it now while we're developing. No, we want to get a good head start on it, so we're not leaving the community hanging. When launch. So I think in a month and a half from now, I think would be really, really good. Keep our community engaged, and doing these AMAs. This AMA tour, I think we've done about 8 of them. We've done with Caesars. I think it's called, I don't know, Caesars. We did Python, Futures Lounge, some pretty good ones out there that we've done already so far. We're already in talks with Golem to do an AMA over there. Maybe a potential, some type of a partnership could spark there too as well. And that's based on our platform that we're creating, and that we're going to be able to launch this before, to have those utilities before launch. But the tokenomics here are very, very simple. It's only 8%. So we have 3% going to the LP, 4% going to the marketing and dev, and then we have 1% going to going to treasure hunt, so people can win coins from there. And then again, our seed rounds are vested. Pre-sale will not be vested. And so the allocation on that would be like $175 per person. There could be, and so that's pretty much it. So the way that we were able to raise $1.6 million for this, and to keep everything below $1 million market cap, is because of our smart contractor. We don't need to have team tokens be in circulation. Team tokens won't even be created even from a year from now. And that too is also going to be distributed within 2 years. And then we have, the seed rounds, they don't need to be like fully in circulation. The smart contract will go ahead, would only mint those tokens that's only specifically for that, for the seed rounders.
Sorry, Rob, can I just interrupt you a sec? Would you mind just putting your phone on silent or something? People are mentioning the vibration keep coming through, bro.
Oh, sorry about that.
Oh, thanks, man.
Let me go ahead and change my settings on my phone real quick.
Oh, you're talking on your phone? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think, it's, man, with, let me see, ringtone, media. Yeah, there you go. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, I apologize on that. I was telling Kid I need to get I got to use my other phone for these AMAs, just because I have so much stuff going on. But,
I can hear the amount of times your phone's ringing. Busy man.
So the fact that we're not coming here raise money because we're using our money as well to kick this thing start off. It wasn't like something that was from scratch, where we were, asking money for the project. We wanted to keep this thing, at $1 million or slightly below, because for every $1 million that this thing goes up, you're going to 1x on the chart. It's not like other projects where they raise $10-20 million. $180 million I've seen one. I think it was called Sidious. Awesome project. There's no hating on them and what people do, what they raise their money for their project. But we definitely, with this one, it's different, because we're starting off slightly below a $1 million market cap, at launch. And the fact that we're coming out with our utility at launch and before, I truly expect a lot of Ethereum whales to start getting into this project, especially with our video that we're definitely coming out. We were planning to get the CertTech audit prior, but we kind of like say, let's just go with two, just get one audit just to get things done, whether if it's through solid proof or check rate, and then let's come out with the CertTech audit. But the
So
CertTech
do you
audit
have
will
any audits in place at the moment?
I'm ready to submit. We're actually testing the contract. I actually went through Solid Proof's application process. I just wanted to see. And so definitely you have to show up the GitHub link, and so forth. And that is going to be finished this Friday. Hopefully by Monday, we're going to start submitting for getting the audit done. And then once that audit is done, usually takes about 48 hours, maybe 72. Then we're going to go ahead and start submitting our application for the audio launchpad. Here's the thing, guys. We have someone who actually got on DAOmaker who is guiding through us this whole process. So our pitch deck really has to. I mean, not our pitch deck, but our white paper definitely has to be really awesome. So we're definitely doxing and KYCing for this project. So we want to make sure that we're able to pass through. And so they're really, really helping us with that. And then we also have another person that's going to try to help us get us on Cetify.
So you haven't doxed or KYC'd at the moment?
No, after the testing is done, I'm going to just go through like a one-stop shop kind of deal, that will do both.
Just looking at your website at the moment, if you scroll down to the bottom, you can see the team with Alvin as CEO, Kim as CFO, with LinkedIn links.
Yeah, he's fully doxed. He's fully doxed.
But if you click on them, it just takes you back to the homepage.
Oh yeah, we switched over. They're updating it right now. We switched over from one hosting to another hosting. That's why we're able to get a little bit more better speeds. But we submitted our LinkedIn stuff on there. They're going to be doing a couple of more updates. We're actually going to be translating our website into I think 5 different languages. So we actually got that work done, and so they're working on doing the updates to have 5 different languages on our website. Especially we're targeting Vietnamese, Vietnam, China, I think Indonesia, and a couple of other more. I think in Arabic as well.
Just on that note, while you're talking about the team, who's on the board of directors?
Well, I'm part of the board of directors. My developer is also part of the board director.
Sorry. Right. So is that you and Queen then on the board of directors, or is there someone?
Yeah, me, Queen, Fahad, Crypto Kid.
Okay. Right. Yeah. I'm sorry. It's just it was the layout. I wasn't sure if there was someone above you, is what it was saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cool.
No, we definitely want to have control. I could have went through the venture capitalist route. I probably could have went to Animatica or some other ventures capitalist groups. I didn't like the amount of control where whatever my ideals that we have, they'll go ahead and make sure that it gets how would I say it? They would make sure that it would get done according to our vision of the project, and that's just a lot of millions and millions of dollars. So we didn't want to lose control of that. So basically, we decided to go with this route. We didn't really want to get too many VC companies involved with the project in the sense where they would have control over our project, So this is the route that we're actually taking, because we poured in our own money in, so. But yeah,
so Alvin's the CEO, but you've all put in your own money. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
And you've spent as a team 200,000 up to this point.
Yeah, that's correct. Well, not up to this point. We've already used some of that seed round funding already.
Okay.
Yeah, just to pay off for
the initial $150,000.
Yeah, we haven't spent it at all. I mean, we're really, really being frugal about and how we spend that and what's going to be best for the marketing plan.
So the initial 150,000 seed that you raised, you've still got some of that left, but it's been focused on marketing. Is that correct?
Hold on one second.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. No, it is. We allocated a large portion of that to marketing. And we also, some of it was used to pay the smart contract developer for the NFT platform. A lot of it was used for to pay the developers, because we actually have a team of developers that's out in Vegas. It's a company out in Vegas that's actually handling the building of the metaverse. So we proportioned that amongst those.
So
And
let me
then
ask you this, Crypto Kid, what are the kinds of marketing that your team has found effective? Because I know that there's a lot of attention right now on influencer marketing and whether or not that's effective. What has your team found to be the most effective forms of marketing?
Yeah, well, this project is kind of marketed in a different light, because you want it to be uh so when we pitch those IDOs, and Alvin has like a connection with Firestarter owners and stuff like that, who's been guiding us along the way. They need the coin to be at a certain level. They need to have the room, the Telegram room with a certain amount of people. They need the social media platforms to be active. They need the coin to show some type of utility. They need the team to be fully DOXX. So there's a lot of parameters that needs to be checked when you go on these like tier 1 IDOs. So we wanted to make sure marketing that we basically met those parameters. So right now we're doing a lot of connections with various call groups. We're doing a lot of AMAs, just trying to basically build a foundation of those investors that we know that would be interested in a project like this, that understand the true potential of the metaverse, and that truly respect the fact that they are getting, like for instance, the first seed round was you're getting every coin at 30 cents, but our launch price is at 90 cents. So you're starting out for the 3x right off the bat. So who understood that mean equals value. So, so basically we wanted to market and towards that. So yeah, no,
No, there's
we
other
wanted
stuff that we're doing. It's really, of course we do the basics. We're going to be running, our YouTube, running ads through there, doing our Facebook ads, which is Kim's already setting up. We're just kind of like finalizing that, targeting the Instagram, the Twitter. One of the other things that we're doing is we're going to come out with our NFT sets. I'm personally working on Stray Dogs. Is my NFT set that I'm coming out with. So we're going to use those NFTs to get more people to be part of the project, and we're going to have a utility around those NFTs as far as it being on a whitelist spot and getting passes, within our metaverse. So there's definitely, that marketing plan that we're doing to bring in. It has to be really targeted in the sense of with crypto. And then also targeting investors who wanted to get really in on early stage. So we're definitely running our Facebook ads, and they're targeted to investors, people in crypto. We're looking at right now, we're creating our own server, which is Brian who's creating, so that we can do these email blasts. I'm not too sure how he's setting that all up. It's definitely, he's giving me the updates. So we're doing, pretty much almost everything possible. So this is another reason why we're doing, looking at to be launched on 4 IDOs, whether if it's going to be one main one, and then we're going to go on 3 small ones, because you got to remember that people who are subscribed to a main IDO, they have a lot of subscribers, and they're able to see our project, download the pitch deck, see where all this is going, be part of our Telegram and our Discord. So, with all of this, and especially we're going to be coming out with doing this via the metaverse. When we talk to our investors, I truly believe that it's going to create a buzz within the space that we have, that we're able to do this. So, it's something totally different. It's not your normal where, like we're sort of doing right now, where, we'll have the VC chat, we'll run, a slideshow, and you get to hear me. But we want to do something that relates to what we're building, and that's actually doing that from the metaverse. So me and Kid will have our Inoculus, and we'll give people a tour, of what we just created, and then we can go head on strong with explaining people more about our project and where this is going. So we definitely have a plan within the next 10 days from now, with our marketing strategy that we're doing.
Yeah, I mean, to be able to do your AMAs through your actual metaverse would be pretty impressive way of showcasing your project. Toby, do you have anything else that you want to say?
Not really. I've just got one question, just regarding the NFTs. Are you doing the same tax for them, or where's the money going from that? Like, have you thought about cost and how much you're going to be making it?
As far as the NFTs goes, it's going to be we're looking at Immutable X right now, and then also Polygon for the NFTs. It's because, I gave an example of people like, when people want to monetize on their platform, and let's just say they got the ticket sales kind of going on, I would really hate it that someone bought this with the native token, and with the gas fees with Ethereum,
Right.
that
Yeah.
his ticket sales become worthless. So we kind of want to get into a little bit more, stable when it comes to doing that kind of stuff. And you got to remember, when it comes to our native token is when we're going to use that for land purchases. So imagine with all the land purchases being bought with our native token, what is that going to benefit our shareholders? Higher market caps, and so people will hold. It's like someone just bought $100,000 worth of land, or 200 million. We've already been approached for people who want to buy land within our metaverse. So we truly believe that doing this in our native token is definitely going to benefit the charts. So with that, just look at the overall of the project, that we're going to be doing land sales via the native token, and just our utility that we have. It's going to bring a lot of curiosity. What is it going to be like watching a metaverse watching movies in the metaverse through a drive-in feel? What is this Sky City? What's this flying dragon that they're talking about? I wouldn't mind checking that out. And then what is this gaming thing that they're doing? Whether it's treasure, you mean I could win stuff? I don't have to be a gamer to win things, to do a play to earn, and I think with that we're targeting, all ages. With that treasure hunt is going to bring a lot of people into the metaverse. So, and within our metaverse, and the more people that you have, and the more in your metaverse, the more that the NFT platform is going to monetize. So, this is our business model, that we created, and we're sticking to it. As far as doing the play to earn features that other metaverses are doing, yeah, we're definitely gonna, have that chance to put in. But remember, play to earn game, that's a whole new another development. It's all about balancing out the game. Metaverse to me is a little bit more easier in my sense, because you're just putting assets where people can experience. But when you're talking about gameplay, the game has to be balanced. It's like a street fighting game. You have one of these combat games. You have to
So
balance.
are you putting those NFTs into the game aspect then? Yeah.
Oh, wait. Are we gonna put these NFTs in the game?
Yeah,
I
because
don't want to.
I'm
Yeah, I
sorry.
mean that's how it all works, right? I mean,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
games like, if you look at Web3, they got a game, and you could take in. I think it's called the World Wide Web with two B's at the end. They're doing that where you can take any avatar. You can take an Axie Infinity NFT, and you could play that in their game. So they're doing something that's totally different. Could we do something along those lines? Yeah, you know, we can. And it just costs money to do so. And so we just really want to just start off with, you know, game development is where now you're talking about some serious money in developing games, especially if it's you know something you know when it comes to like doing something what Axie Infinity did, you know, those kind of play to earn. I mean, I've seen some pretty. I could have got that game made and only paid $5,000 for it. You know, like some Mario that kind of collects coins and you just kind of like skin it. I mean, the programming and all of that is there. You know, um, could have we have done that? Yeah, I'm sure we can. And we could still do that if we want to, but we're sticking to our business model that we have that we're doing with the three things that we talked about. And I think with that business model, I think a lot of people is going to build a lot of curiosity um, from those things that we're building to make our metaverse unique.
Cool. Well, that's about it from my questions. There's just one guy who's asked in the chat. What was the name of your previous project again, Alvin?
It was Ronin Games.
Ronin Games. RONN. Sorry, RONIN.
Yeah.
Ronin Games. Cool. Yes, Mark, man, over to you, buddy.
Yeah, cool. I've just got 2 more questions before we hand over to the community. One is on the treasure hunt aspect. Is that going to be one of the elements that's ready at launch or something that's coming in the future? Just because I'm thinking there was another project that I personally invested in, and I can't even remember when that was. Back end of last year might have been, and they're still months off having that ready to launch. So I just wondered where you're at in terms of the development of that.
I think it was like about 48 hours ago. I was telling the team, you know, we really need to finalize on how this is going to be gameplay. How is it going to, you know, how is this going to be all part of our metaverse, and how is it all going to be played out? I think we're just trying to fine line the details down. I was actually talking Vic to our community manager, is also part of our team, you know, and he kind of like went out with the whole layout. We have a meeting after this first development, which is us doing the us being in the metaverse and doing these AMAs. So we haven't really filed the detail. I mean, our dev kind of like basically said, bro, that's easy. I wouldn't worry too much about having that being ready for it, but definitely we have to. You're gonna have to have a team that's gonna be able to control, you know, not control, but that's gonna be able to manage that platform, because you know you have to look at all the different items that we're going to be having that people can find and win, and then placing these placing these items on in what form. You know, I can't have a car, you know, being dug up into the ground. So we're figuring out to the clues that if you watch a movie, it brings you a lot more closer to the clues for the bigger prize, you know. So we're finelining that detail. It's something that is going to happen this week, and we're just going to see. Okay, devs, this is what we've created. This is how we want it to be gamed in the metaverse. How long do you think it will take to do so? And then I have to talk to the NFT platform, the NFT people, too as well when we create this. So I think the very first thing is getting the NFT platform, getting the metaverse up running. If this is going to be gamed right off the bat, then I could give more updates on that. Because what they're doing for our internal team is that there's going to be a messaging board that the dev's going to be giving us the updates of just where everything is kind of like at, you know, with the development of the metaverse. So
Sure. Okay. And then
yeah.
my final overarching question is, for you guys as a team, at what point does this project become a success to you? Is there like an end goal for you guys?
The end goal for us, man, I don't, you know, it's we want to be in here for the next 10 years. I mean, we have a plan to scale this. I mean, when you look at the business model, it gives us so much stuff to do in terms of the movie app. Are we ever going to create our own movie? Are we going to have our own TV series? I was talking to Nikolai, the one who spoke up earlier. You know, he was talking about he's working on I don't know if you guys know Nikolai, but he's from Satoshi Street Bets. He has his own podcast, and you know, he was kind of like approaching me in regarding to having some documentary that I don't know if I forget if he's creating, but it's called Rugs. You know, having that type of documentary on people maliciously, you know, rugging a project is you know, I think a lot of people, especially the amount of people that's in this crypto space, would want to watch that. And if we were able to watch that on our platform, that would bring a tremendous, you know, subscriber. It'd bring a lot of people to our project. The fact that Chad has his own studio. So there's a lot of things that we can do with this project in terms of scaling, you know. But going back to your question, we're here for the long run. We're not here for that short term. I think the metaverse is going to change our world in a lot of different ways. You know, it's going to be the next thing that hits our generation the way that the World Wide Web did, you know, the way that cryptocurrency did right now, that it's now. I mean, whoever thought about digital currency? I mean, what is this Bitcoin and Ethereum, and just kind of like to see where everything's going. And so with gaming expanding even more, now you're going to start to see more metaverse games now, rather than just something that's from the web. We see here to be here for the long term. And we have so much that we could possibly do, you know, to keep this thing going. You know, it's so scalable. It's just amazing business model to try to get into. You know, for that sake, for us, you know, that's the way we see it. So, we're going to be here for the long term. You know, we see
Okay.
that 10-year plan.
Cool. Sounds good. The one question I did forget to ask was, do you have a registered business in place for this project?
You know, I was talking to Kid. I was really thinking about flying to Dubai. I was telling like Escanor, we're going to Dubai. We're going to register. There's no tax. We're not going to have a problem. Kid was like, I think you could do this in, I don't know what city we was talking about that's more crypto forgiveness kind of sake, you know, city. I'm not too sure. So we're looking at that. But my heart was literally set on going to Dubai and registering the company there because they have a no tax thing. And we're not going to do this like where it's strictly DeFi, because if I want to get into movies, I'm going to have a registered company. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, Dubai is a pretty cool place. Right. I think that's a good point to open up for some community questions then. If anybody wants to ask away on the chat, unmute yourself. Otherwise, feel free to ask on the chat as well, and we'll ask them for you.
Yeah.
Yep. Go ahead and then I'll ask.
Can I talk?
Yeah, go for it.
Firstly, I have a couple of questions about the project, but I'll first ask about the running games, because I'm part of running games and I lost like 2.5 BNB, which having Alex on Christmas Eve of last year, they announced they abandoned the project. I followed the project for up to like 3 months before they abandoned the project. So I want to ask a question that if you can abandon just a game project, and we lost a lot of money, a lot of investors lost a lot of money on running games, and here you're talking about metaverse. If you can't undo a game, now you want to undo the metaverse. First answer that before I will ask question about the metaverse that you're talking about. Why did you abandon running games and stuff like that? First answer that before I talk.
What happened with, okay, so were the devs legit in terms of creating the game? Yes, 100%. I mean, you had the guy from Skylander that was part of the project. We had Alex Lopez, that was part of working with different companies in terms of him being an art director. And then you had Joseph Walters, who's been working with, been in the industry. He's a what do you call it, a Unity consultant. I forgot what studio he was working for, but I had left the project before. Nobody did not know that Alex Lopez had stolen the project for me. He actually registered the company in Florida, which I would have never done. So I left that project. They tried to bring me back because they brought in a new marketing team. I think that was Jess and Pogi Roby and Galaxy Gold and I think Z. And they just found how difficult Alex Lopez was. And as soon as Jess and them had left, they went ahead and apologized to the old group and says, my gosh, I've never seen someone so difficult to work with that claims that he doesn't know crypto, and yet he's not willing to listen to the very people around him. And in honesty, I think, they if you had seen my contract that they were trying to bring me back, I said, you know what, this is your mess. You didn't bother to listen. You did come out with a game. You knew you were going to come out with a second token. I told you to work at a different speed. I told you to get a trailer for this game, get these 3D models. It's like he didn't understand how fast crypto is. In the .com era, when you create a game still, you can take probably your sweet time at it. But the things why did it take Alex to get a new website? It took him 3 months. We had a professional website that was actually made and done, and he didn't use it. He promised the Dubai team that he would, do this and do that and have that website ready for them, and he failed. And they got themselves in a situation where their marketing team had left them because of the difficulty. When you set up to create a video and you're going through how you want this video, and then at the last minute you're trying to promote your art, you can't do that. So I had left, and that's how I started Metfx. I was just like, I'm not gonna work with people in the real world if you don't know crypto. I wanted to make sure that the people that I brought on board had this one mindset, that we knew how crypto was going to run. Did they rug the project? No, they didn't rob the liquidity pool. Was never maliciously. They just didn't know what they were getting themselves into with the community. You went up to 25 million, you went down to 10 million, you went back up to 18 million, but yet you failed to listen to the marketing team. And I think Alex and that team put themselves in a very, very bad situation when Jess and them left. As soon as Jess left, Jess made an announcement saying, hey guys, I need to work on myself. But the real true heart of it was the difficultness that comes from those devs. You should have just stayed as a dev and work on making the game. But the thing was they were trying to run the whole show and they couldn't do it. You can't, because you don't have that crypto mindset. The way that the way that a day in a crypto is like 30 days on the stock market. So they failed.
Okay.
They failed at what they did.
Hello, I get you. But my point is, when the baby left running games, when Ops left, when SK left, you were still there. Am I right?
Yeah, I was still there, and then
you knew that Alex is not preparing any games, and you kept moods without talking. So my point is, hold on. Mm-hmm. My point is, if you collide with Alex then to rob the community, because that's our fee. Whether the liquidity is being robbed or not, the fact remains that the investors lose their money, which they are not getting back to now. So how do you want me to trust you in this project that you're doing? How do you want me to put my own trust in you? I didn't know you. You get?
So
I didn't know you. And if I have an experience, hold on. If I have an experience, which is very, very bad for me, on the Christmas day, which you are part of, one way or the other. So how do you want me to trust you on this new project you say you're doing?
Okay, so yeah, I guess the question from that then is, Goose, is that as an investor, then how can he trust you into this new project? What have you learned? What are you going to do different? I don't know.
Well, the thing was, a lot of people don't really like. That's the thing that with our project, we're coming out with our utilities. And did Alex Lopez come out with a utility? Yes, he did. Was it configured for cryptocurrency? Not at the moment. But did he come out with a game? He actually came out with two games. Were they going to come out with the NFT platform? Yeah, because they've already contracted that out to have that made. So that was actually supposedly be coming out in December. So that's why with us, we have a different approach. We have a different approach about our utility. And that's because we're going to launch it before. We're not coming in here telling people, oh, it's going to come in 4 months from now, 5 months. No, we're actually going to launch it. So this is what makes us different. You know, it's unfortunate that Alex took, because the majority of the time it was really Alex that was speaking on these AMAs. I've been done left. I never really wanted to rock the boat in terms of the community, in terms of what he did. You know, did we fire SK and all those people? No, it was really, really Hobbs. You could look at Hobbs today. The crew that he went to fired him. So a lot of people don't understand the difficulties that we've gone through with Hobbs. It's like it's just ironic that H&NW kicked him out, and he was the founder of that token. He was the founder who brought all these people. So a lot of people, I still have a good relationship with SK. I've met SK in real life. We've sat down and we've drank beers. No harm, no foul. What happened? The way the things happened, it happened. In terms of how the beginning of Ronin, they were trying to insert, a second DEX, and I refused to. Coming from as a network engineer, you don't make changes like that where you go on a second DEX. And because of that, that was like an utterly flop. Though we survived through it, and we had to compensate people for that launch, because I'm going on that second DEX. But as far as do I feel bad? Of course, I still trying to work with people who actually lost money. I mean, I've given up approximately $12,000 of my own money to help people who are from the third world. Pogi Roby came up to me and he told me, hey man, this dude, man, he put $2,000, and the people from Siberia don't make much. So, I gave him, it was $2,500, but I gave him $2,000. I've given a lot of people money back. I'm known to help people. That it's really none of my business. It's your choice. But I have close friends or friends that lost money on other projects and been rugged and tremendous. And I try to do whatever I can. That's by nature that I do these kind of things. I do a lot of philanthropist stuff. I go to the Philippines and I raise my own money, spend my own money to give to these kids who travel, by foot, to going into school. So we give them backpacks, we give them goodies, we try to give hope to these, give some type of light to these children. And I've been doing that for the last 5 years. So as far as giving, I'm giving. But what happened to Ronin? That was literally on Alex. He was the main dude that was telling everybody, yeah, we're here, we're staying, we're moving forward. But as soon as Jess's team left, they were stuck. They had no guidance whatsoever to this project. And I think that's why they told people that, we can't further do it, because they just didn't understand the marketing. I mean, they didn't understand trending. They didn't understand like a lot of the things. I can't believe we're spending that much money on marketing. Oh, that's what it does,
Yeah, I think we've covered this now, man. Let's just get some questions in about Metfx because
Okay.
you've
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, if I buy land on Metaverse, and you say the studio about the cinema is a private, right?
No, there's two things. You can watch movies, number one, through the drive-in theater. Number two, we also have things for sale where you can actually rent out a room, run our application, and you could watch movies through there.
Okay. So if I buy land and can I build like something like a cinema studio that I can be showing film and people can be paying me? And if that is possible, can I decide what I want to be, maybe the fee that people will be paying? Can I be collecting it with stablecoin? That's my question.
You mean like for you to monetize yourself through our metaverse? Is that what he's saying?
I think he's asking, like, so if he buys some land and rents it out, hires it out to someone, can he choose to be paid in a stable coin?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I'd have to really kind of like think about that question real quick, but I thought that was a pretty good question. We want it to be a stable coin, whether if it's Polygon, just like I gave that an example. If this was all done through, hold on one second.
While we're holding on him and everything, I think more the question is asking, and this is typical in the metaverse, if he has a plot of land and he goes and purchases an in-app purchase for, let's say, a race car track, a movie theater, or it could be like a repair shop or whatever, if people use those services within the metaverse that he owns on his plot of land that he owns the NFT for, and then is he able to charge a fee for that and be able to receive it back in stable coins?
Yeah, totally. That's why we're choosing Polygon, because everything will be done through the NFT platform. That's how we make money on our platform is approximately 2.5% for any of the transactions that happen on there. So yes, as far as it being cross-chained, in that sense, we're definitely working towards that, to have a cross-chain NFT platform where purchases can be made via another blockchain. But right now, what stands is the NFT platform being in Polygon. So
okay. So I'll follow up with my question and everything, because I think that answered his. Just real quick, I have a few quick questions here. Are you willing to tell us what the metaverse platform is built on? What are you using as the engine? Is it Unity or is it Unity?
It's going to be on Unity. Yeah.
Okay. My second question is, if you're going to be using it, I heard you refer to the Oculus and everything. You didn't have your Oculus, would you? But you're going to be able to view these movie theaters through the Oculus. Are you also going to be able to purchase tickets for these movies through the Oculus?
No, they would have to do it from the NFT platform. We're building like a UI right now, specifically for that. So on our website, you'll get to see all the showings and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, so there will be no in-app purchases. It was my question.
Yeah, you would have to do that through the NFT platform. We want to do everything via the NFT platform. It's the way we want to do it.
So then, from the Oculus, most people, whenever they go to put it on, they want to go right into it and do whatever they're going to do. So they will have to go buy everything additionally, either from a phone or a laptop, and then you'll have a coupon code that you give them to put it into the Oculus. I'm wondering how you're tying them together, because right now, currently, that is not possible to do on the Oculus.
Which part is not you're able to do on the Oculus? Could you repeat that again? Which part?
I'm asking the part, if you're going to use your NFT platform, there will have to be something that shows within the Oculus marketplace for that particular showing if you're going to allow them to do it, or be able to send them a coupon code where those videos are already in the Oculus, in the marketplace, where you would still be paying for them, but they would have to have a coupon code so it's not charging them again because they're already bought it on your NFT marketplace. Because currently, that doesn't work currently. It's 3 to 5 years out, and you also cannot use cryptocurrency or your native token on Oculus. And my follow-up question would be why you chose Oculus to be the one that you're really shooting for, and have you been approved and submitted that?
No, that was one of the things that our dev was talking about, because we wanted to find out. Just using the word term Oculus is just really kind of like using your VR set. Because we know
That
that
has a lot of implications as well, though. When you say Oculus,
yeah,
that means something.
I talked to my dev in regards to that, like how long is the submission going to be for us to kind of get approved for those kind of things. Now, as far as using your VR set to go into our NFT platform, I think that's a little bit more different. You have to do that through either the application on your phone and through your web browser, But entering the metaverse is totally something that would be different.
Okay, how long before you be able to enter into the metaverse using any type of VR headset?
Well, to be honest with you, I've already tested it out where we like that one particular room, we were able to we've already tested that part out using an Oculus. I'm sorry?
What type of headset?
You were able to do it with the Oculus?
Yeah, I was.
So you've already submitted your application to use Oculus's API?
I think it's different. I think that I think it was called the APK files that you have to kind of like download onto the Oculus. I think is what
it's an API. It's an API that you have to develop on, but you also have to get permission. I'm actually a developer on Oculus's community platform as a developer. Right. I'm registered as a developer there.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that's why I'm asking specifically this question to you, and you're not giving a good answer.
Well, because I'm not really the developer, and if the developer was here, he could give you a little bit more of that technical part.
Use the Oculus to look at the VR. That you actually use the Oculus to actually see the metaverse. That's a true statement, or that's a false statement.
No, it's actually a true statement. Now,
and I'm asking how.
How did they do that? How did they do that? I didn't get into the specifics. All I know is that they created this room, and I was able to use this avatar that was defaulted in there, and I was able to experience it on the Oculus. So,
I don't have any more questions.
For you to say what you say and for what they did, I don't know who's actually, I don't know if your statement is true or not. All I know is, and maybe it is, but all I know is that I've already experienced it already.
I'd be happy to share my screen with you anytime I send you the information. I'm telling you.
Let's do this, Dave. And approximately about maybe on Monday, you can probably go to our website. And you could actually experience it through there. And then I think there's going to be a file where
I got that, but that's different than using a VR headset. Okay.
No, you are going to use the VR headset because we're going to have that file in order for you to access into that room that we're creating or we've already created. Yeah.
Right. So if I'm going to view it from a desktop view or a laptop or a phone, that's different than downloading it into my Oculus and as an app, right? As an app into the Oculus store, from the Oculus store, and being able to view it. That's a whole different thing. You understand that, right?
Yeah, that is correct. Now I get what you're saying, yes.
So if you're telling me that I can go view it on the desktop or something, that's totally different. That's not from a VR headset. And at this point in your project, or before even submission, I'm telling you that it's not possible. Whether that's your developer telling you that, I'm assuming he's outsourced, or maybe he works directly for you guys. I'm telling you it's not possible.
Unless you get approved through Oculus. You have to go through that submission.
Right, and you haven't submitted it yet, is what you said.
Well, yeah, of course not. We haven't really submitted anything in terms, but we do know the process for that. Whether if it's going to be through the Oculus or through another VR set.
I understand that.
Yeah.
Look, I get all that. You said that you were able to view it with the Oculus.
In terms of what we created, yes. that room that we made, because I'm sure that a lot of people are creating things, and you could test it with your Oculus in terms of what you create, and
If you
we've
have a
done that already.
if you have a developer account with Oculus, and you would still have to submit the application.
Well, yeah, of course, I know about the whole application. That's why I asked how long would take for that process to do. So that's why
It
we
takes
started this project.
up to a year or more to get an approval.
Well, that's good to know then.
All right. Thanks, David. It's a good bit of a questioning there, but let's.
That's all I got.
I've got a question from someone in the community who's not been able to ask in voice now because they've had to go back to work. But it was when you guys designed the avatars for the metaverse. Will there be lots of customization parts for the human face? And why have you decided to use humanoid figures as the NFT collection? If you look at the white paper and seeing the automobiles was used for one of the section, how would you describe the likelihood of people being able to use flying vehicles to move around the metaverse?
Well, I mean, when you're talking about flying vehicles, it's just pretty much just programming that. It has to be programmed into the metaverse. So anything that we create on our NFT platform in regards to the metaverse, it all has to be programmed into that environment. It has to be programmed into the Unity for it to take it. In terms of humanoid, that was just pretty much a pitch deck. It's not, I wouldn't say exactly like the humanoid picture. I think that the devs were talking about that if we wanted to have third-party, whether if you want to call it NFTs, but no, third-party avatars, they're developing that part where it could be easy because we don't know how many people are going to purchase our NFTs that they may end up wanting to have their own avatar. Are we going to have an application on our site that will allow them to create their avatars on there? Those are the things that are in discussion, in which we will get updates with those kind of questions, because I also wanted to know too as well. And we're going to be getting our updates in regards to that. I think the very, very most important thing that we're doing right now is that we're going to be able to launch this metaverse, whether if you see it through the web browser, and then also a VR set. Now in terms of the Oculus, we kind of knew that we have to do that submission, but it doesn't mean that other people can access this metaverse without having to have an Oculus. I hope that makes that sense. Because we knew that there was an application process that needed to be. I just used the term Oculus just because it's kind of like a widely known brand VR headset.
All right. Well, I think you might have to be careful how you use it because obviously, you might next time you might want to.
I definitely appreciate Dave's. I think it was David, right? No.
Yeah.
It was
it was
Snow.
David.
Yeah, D Snow. In fact, I'm gonna.
It was David who's asking about the Oculus. It was D Snow who asked about previous projects. Yeah, Mark, go on.
No, nothing from me. Is there any other community questions before we wrap up?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. Goose, did you want to pick a winner for the $50 giveaway for best question?
The one that asking me about the Oculus.
And Mr. David.
Yeah.
David.
Yeah, to me that was the best question, because it makes us think about, especially if we're going to use the word term, Oculus out there. I knew about the submission. I just didn't know the facts that it was going to take, that long. Would it prevent us from launching our utility? No, 100% it's not. And now that I have to be very choosy with the words that I'm going to use, so I thought that was good. And it's good for me to know that it's going to take approximately a year for that. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what we can do.
If you want to know, you can just go to developer.oculus.com and documentation.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Well done, David. Well done on the $50 win anyway.
Can you just do me a favor and add that to the community wallet?
Yes, for sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Right, Goose, have you got any closing statement you'd like to make?
No, I think, this was really, really good AMA. I think people understand, and people who's experienced, in terms of the community, and it just shows you that, with Metfx, utility is very, very important, and we totally understand that, and so I think what we have spoken about today with our Metfx platform. I hope that you guys join us and just join the progress of just things, how things are actually kind of moving with our platform and so forth. Be ready for our NFT platform. We're working with various artists now that our NFT platform is going to be ready, up and running to take on NFT sales. So that I hope you guys be there at that event, that when we make those announcements. But as far as being part of this group, definitely the Gypto Crypto Lounge, you definitely gave us a lot of good questions. Got a good response from your committee. Really thank you for having us over here, and we'll try to keep you continue updates with our of our project and some of the working utilities that we're going to have. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks a lot for coming along, and good luck with the future development.
Yeah, totally. Thank you.